Michael Jordan in career, his whole career played 78 games a year. And that's not even counting the playoffs when you're playing, in the preseason. So you're talking about 115 games a year. That dude probably played in about 112 of those 115 games.
End the debate, please. Here we go. 3 parts. One player has won the scoring title, regular season MVP, was first team defensive player, led the playoffs in scoring, and won the MVP in the finals. All 5 things. It's only happened 4 times in the NBA. You know who the 4 players who do it were? Jordan.
Michael never set out games. If Michael set out a game, he made sure he played at least 25 minutes so you saw him play. Whether it be preseason, he didn't miss any regular season games. But during preseason where most stars sit out, he played.
Man, the audacity is wild out here. That confidence is on another level. Like LeBron really wants everyone to believe that 22 years of stop and start greatness somehow matches 13 years of straight up pressure and perfection.
So I'm not coming from a biased position where I'm just like, oh, that was my era, so I'm being biased. No, my eyes don't lie. I know what I've seen. And as great as LeBron is, and he's fantastic, but he ain't fucking with MJ. Just based off the eye test and the skill level and some of the stats and the heart, nah, yo, no. I saw MJ play from his prime to his retirement. I saw Kobe play from his prime to his retirement. I've seen LeBron from his prime to his eventual retirement. How this young generation is so dismissive of this stat when they go, well, LeBron James has been to the finals this many and he won this many times, but he's been this many times.
Stacey King didn't just poke the debate, he cracked it open in front of everyone, and the reaction had LeBron's people looking stunned, like they just got hit with something they did not expect. And this wasn't coming from some commentator talking big online. This came from a man who actually lived through that era right in the fire. Stacey King didn't just see greatness from the sidelines, he survived it, trained with it, and won with it, which makes every word he dropped feel like a shot straight to the conversation. The basketball world just got checked by someone who earned the right to speak on legends, and he did it with no fear at all. Stacey King, a 3-time champion standing next to MJ himself, is not some random dude behind a desk pretending to know the game. He shared the court with the icon, felt that intensity for real, and now he just gave one of the coldest reality checks this whole debate has ever seen. His words had LeBron supporters shaking because the numbers don't bend, and that legacy doesn't hesitate for anyone. And then he hit them with the line that flipped the whole room. He said, "What you are doing in 20 years, MJ did in 13 years." Let that sink in for a second while LeBron fans scramble, trying to explain 2 decades of chasing a shadow that never slowed down for a moment. This wasn't bias, this was straight truth from someone who was actually there. But Stacey King wasn't done at all. He kept swinging like he had unlimited energy, and the whole moment was nothing but light work for him. He kept that same calm heat while applying pressure that LeBron fans could practically feel through the screen. He said that LeBron James will always be remembered as one of the greatest to ever touch a basketball. But then he shut the whole argument down with pure confidence. King said we need to stop the GOAT debate. And he said it like a man who has seen real greatness face to face. Not from the stands, not from highlight clips, but right there on the hardwood with Michael himself. Then he dropped the punch that shook the entire conversation.
Jordan or LeBron, who's the GOAT?
I low-key think Mike's so competitive, bro. Mike could come out of retirement right now to play Bron
and do it.
Do you know what Michael Jordan had to deal with, bro?
He can go over his finals opponents.
You tell me who lost.
The Heat played a Thunder team with Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden in the finals. I like how you say...
Who was going to guard Mike on that Thunder team?
James Harden. So you mean to tell me
He's so cute.
You think...
That's so cute.
King pointed at the one stat LeBron supporters never want to talk about. The one thing they avoid like it's flying straight at their head. After 22 seasons, LeBron still hasn't matched Michael's 6 rings. 6 earned in just 13 years, while LeBron spent over 20 years stacking only 4. And when someone brings up Michael's efficiency, the whole room goes silent fast because that's the part that hits too hard for anyone writing for LeBron. Jordan didn't just win more, he did it in nearly half the time with frightening consistency. In 13 iconic years, Michael Jordan grabbed 6 championships, secured 6 finals MVPs, picked up 5 regular season MVPs, made 14 All-Star appearances, including his Washington return, and dropped over 32,000 points. And on top of all that, he stepped away for 2 full years to play baseball, which makes the numbers even wilder. This is the kind of truth that leaves people speechless. You're really telling me this is impressive? That's adorable, because the math is screaming a whole different story. LeBron needed 22 long seasons, 22 just to walk away with 4 championships and 4 finals MVPs, and somehow his supporters think that's the same conversation as MJ? Come on, that equation does not add up no matter how hard they try to twist it. Their guy needed double the years to get barely 2/3 of what Michael wrapped up in 13, and then the excuses start flying. But LeBron's longevity, they whisper, he played longer. They mumble like that suddenly changes the scoreboard. Yeah, he played longer. Cool. Congrats for showing up more often.
Winning has a price. And leadership has a price. So I pulled people along when they didn't want to be pulled. I challenge people when they don't want to be challenged. And I earned that right because my teammates came after me. They didn't endure all the things that I endured.
But here's the truth Stacey King keeps hammering like he's trying to break through concrete. Longevity without the same level of domination just means you stretched out a regular run over more years. Nothing more. Jordan could have stayed in the league until he was 45, could have chased every stat and every record like it was a scavenger hunt, but he didn't have to. He locked in his greatness in 13 iconic seasons and dipped with no hesitation, no chasing, no begging for validation. And Stacey King knows that because he watched it right in front of him. He saw a man so sharp, so focused, so precise in everything he touched that he could step away twice and still stand untouchable in every conversation. This is the part LeBron fans never want to hear. Jordan walked away while still sitting at the top, not because he slowed down, but because he already proved everything there was to prove, and everyone around him knew it. He left the game as the standard, not the survivor, and that alone tells you what kind of force he was. And now we hit the part LeBron fans absolutely cannot stand to hear, the finals talk. Jordan went 6 for 6, perfect, clean, untouched. LeBron sits at 4 wins and 6 losses, and you can feel the energy shift every time someone brings those numbers up.
I was with Michael Jordan not last summer, summer before last. We ran into each other in Europe, and he says, Irvin, I don't know why these guys, because if you look at his record, he almost played every game like 5 or 6 times throughout his career. He didn't miss one game. He played in every game. We wanted to play in every game. Pat Riley or our trainer, Gary Beatty, had to make sure that they said, no. B, don't put on your uniform. Don't come sitting on that bench because you would want to play because you want to play for your guys and with your guys.
Jordan never backed down when the lights got bright. 6 trips, 6 wins, 6 finals MVPs, and not one single Game 7 needed. No collapse, no shaky moments, no dramatic, I'm taking my talents headlines in the middle of pressure. Meanwhile, LeBron has dropped more finals than he's won, 10 appearances and 6 losses. That's not GOAT energy. That's slipping when the moment gets tight, and Stacey King called it exactly how it is. Jordan never let his rivals walk away smiling on the biggest night, not once. And here's where fans miss the bigger picture. Championships aren't just numbers on a sheet, and King understands this better than anyone. Fans obsessed with stats forget about cultural impact, and that's where Jordan separates himself completely. MJ didn't just play basketball, he shifted the entire world around him. In just 13 years, he turned the Chicago Bulls into a global symbol, a brand recognized even in places where people never watch the NBA. Jordan turned every game into a moment you couldn't miss, and he built a sneaker legacy so strong that his shoes still outsell every active player's signature line combined. That's influence on a completely different level. Meanwhile, LeBron has been grinding for 22 long years trying to climb up to that same level of cultural power, but he's still nowhere near the imprint MJ left on the entire world. Jordan's influence jumped way past basketball, past sports, straight into global culture like nobody had ever seen before. Space Jam wasn't just a movie, it was a whole movement, a moment that stamped Jordan into the minds of kids who didn't even watch basketball. It made him bigger than the league, bigger than the Bulls, and Stacey King knows exactly why, because he stood shoulder to shoulder with the most clutch player the NBA has ever watched. When the pressure hit, when everything was on the line, when reputations were written in real time, Jordan stood alone every single time.
Michael never set out games. If Michael set out a game, he made sure he played at least 25 minutes so you saw him play. Whether it be preseason, he didn't miss any regular season games. But during preseason where most stars sit out, he played. I mean, we played in Lincoln, Nebraska. We played in Sioux Falls, South. We played in some small venues to get the people who may not be able to get to a big city to see us. We go into those places and play. And most star players, I'm not playing in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm sitting out, you know. Michael would play first and third quarter, 24 minutes to let people see, because he recognized, and Kobe's the same way, that this might be the only time that they're able to afford to see me play. And I want to make sure I put on a show. These guys nowadays, they don't look at it that way. The fans pay these enormous, you know, these crazy salaries. The fans, you owe the fans everything you got.
The shot over Craig Elo, the flu game, the shrug against Portland, that final dagger against Utah, all those moments are burned into basketball history forever. And LeBron, well, let's just say the Dallas 2011 situation is still sitting in the vault, still being talked about, still the one moment his supporters never want to bring up. When the heat turned all the way up and the moment demanded greatness, LeBron folded fast. And these are facts fans can't hide from. King never saw anything like that from Jordan, not in any era, not in any matchup, not in any situation. And what really strengthens King's words is the fact that he lived through multiple generations of the league. He saw the shift firsthand, he experienced the transitions, and he knows exactly what Jordan brought to practice, to the locker room, and to the entire team atmosphere. He speaks from real experience, not guesswork. Jordan never went hunting for superstar teammates to save him. He walked into a room and instantly made everybody sharper. And real quick, take a second to hit subscribe because it keeps these breakdowns rolling and your support pushes the channel forward in a big way. Thank you. Jordan didn't just play alongside teammates, he turned them into something tougher, cleaner, and more dangerous. He pushed everyone around him to raise their game because excellence wasn't a suggestion with him, it was the baseline. Scottie Pippen doesn't become the Scottie we all know without Jordan pushing him every single day. Dennis Rodman's legendary stretch hits a whole different level when he's next to MJ. Even Steve Kerr knocked down iconic clutch shots because Jordan created those openings, forced defenses to panic, and trusted his guys to hit the moment. Jordan raised an entire roster, turned a whole squad into a threat, and made every man around him sharper because that's who he was. LeBron? He always needs another superstar sitting next to him just to stay in the fight. Miami needed the big three. Cleveland needed Kyrie and Kevin Love. The Lakers needed AD. He needs elite partners, not role players, because he doesn't elevate a roster the way Jordan did. He needs equals just to stay competitive, and that's a huge difference fans never want to face. And then the classic excuse shows up. Jordan played in a weaker era. They whine.
Favorite part about playing with Mike?
Knowing that every time you walk into an arena, it's going to be packed. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't no better, y'all know.
That's dope.
Y'all know. And knowing that it was like with being with the Beatles or somebody, man, that every place you go, we would drop MJ off.
Say that to Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, legends who would still command respect today. Every single one of them was a real problem on the court. Jordan faced physical, bruising, hand-checking basketball every night. Real pressure, real contact, real battles where nothing came easy and nobody was letting him breeze through anything. That era demanded toughness, and Jordan answered every single time. Back then, every single point had to be earned the hard way. You had to fight through bodies, arms, hits, and no one was saving you with soft whistles. Meanwhile, LeBron is hooping in the softest era the league has ever seen, where players get flagrant calls for barely touching somebody and technical fouls for staring too long. And even with all that softness, it still took him 22 seasons to collect 4 rings. Jordan in today's NBA would be dropping something wild, like 45 a night, with how open the floor is and how little resistance players face now, and Stacey King made that clear without blinking. Then King went right into the stats LeBron supporters always avoid, and he was right to bring them up. Let's run through the numbers that actually matter. Scoring titles, Jordan has 10. LeBron has 1 in 22 years. 1. Defensive Player of the Year, Jordan has 1. LeBron has 0. Steals titles, Jordan has 3. LeBron has 0. And even when you look at all NBA first-team selections per year played, Jordan still takes that comparison without breaking a sweat.
I had a question about the Bosch spacing, but because you just said that, was that the low point for you in your career?
Oh, for sure.
2011.
The lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lowest.
Yeah.
But here's the stat that shuts down the whole debate before it even starts. Jordan averaged 30.1 points per game for his entire career, while LeBron sits at 27.2. Jordan was more efficient, more dominant, and more dangerous in every category that truly matters. And then Stacey King dropped the line that sealed the entire conversation. He said he strongly believes LeBron won't pass legends like Kobe Bryant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or Wilt Chamberlain in the all-time hierarchy. That's coming from someone who actually lived those battles up close. Think about that for a second. A champion who played next to Michael Jordan doesn't even believe LeBron cracks the top 3. And when you look at it, he's got solid reasoning. Kareem holds the scoring crown and has 6 rings. Kobe locked in 5 with that cold Mamba mentality that players still talk about today. And Wilt put up numbers nobody alive will ever touch again. That's a brutal hierarchy to break into, and King made it clear LeBron isn't there. Meanwhile, LeBron is still trying to squeeze his way into the top 5 conversation while Jordan sits on the throne untouched. Like a king, nobody has the power to challenge. Stacey King watched Jordan's mental toughness up close, and that's why his words hit so hard. He saw the man who left basketball for baseball, came back cold, and still won 3 more titles like it was nothing. He saw the man who battled through food poisoning, could barely stay on his feet, but still dragged his team to a win because quitting wasn't even an option. He watched the guy who turned every doubt, every insult, every slight into fuel that made him even more dangerous. LeBron, when things go left, drops cryptic posts, looks sideways at coaching decisions, questions teammates, or starts hunting for a brand new super team when he can't carry one alone.
I hate comparisons and especially over different eras, but from where you were standing and playing, was Michael the best or the greatest ever?
For sure. I mean, you look at the MVPs that he was able to achieve, but I think it was all brought from us being successful as a team. Obviously, someone is going to bring those accolades home, but yeah, he was the greatest player, definitely in basketball.
That's not GOAT behavior. That's participation medal energy. Jordan never begged for approval, never chased validation, never needed a campaign to convince people he was the best. His game made the whole world talk, and he didn't have to say a single word. And here's what Stacey King understands that casual fans miss over and over. Greatness is not about how long you stick around. It's about how completely you controlled the league while you were there. It's about dominance, not duration. Jordan reached a level in a short window that LeBron has spent decades trying to catch. 6 championships in 8 years, and yes, 2 of those years he wasn't even in the league. A perfect finals record, 10 scoring titles, 5 MVPs, and global icon status stamped in history before LeBron even entered the picture. Jordan locked down GOAT status in 13 legendary years, and nothing since has changed that. LeBron needed 22 full seasons just to even get near the debate, and Stacey King made the message crystal clear: no confusion, no debating. He said we can stop dragging this GOAT talk around because it ended all the way back in 1998 when Jordan hit that final shot and walked off untouched, undefeated in the finals, and undisputed in every room that matters. The numbers don't lie, the rings don't lie, the finals record doesn't lie, and the voices of the legends who actually lived through both eras definitely don't lie either. So when Stacey King says everything LeBron needed 22 years to chase, Jordan locked down in just 13. That's not attitude, that's straight math that anyone can check. LeBron supporters can cry about longevity all they want, but staying around longer without delivering the same level of dominance just means you stretched out the years without matching the impact. And Jordan? He could have stayed until 2010 and shattered every record on the board, but he didn't need to. He proved everything, checked off every box, and walked out clean without begging for extra validation. Every argument made for LeBron cracks under the weight of what MJ delivered. More rings in less time, flawless finals record, deeper accolades, stronger cultural impact, colder clutch moments, real leadership, a tougher era, a sharper mentality, and that killer instinct nobody since has truly matched. And Stacey King saw all of that up close. He lived it, practiced through it, breathed it every single day, and won through it. So when he drops this truth, it's coming from experience, not hype. The debate didn't end this year, it didn't end last year, it didn't end with social media opinions. It ended the night MJ hit that last shot and walked away with nothing left to chase. The GOAT conversation isn't even a real argument anymore because the answer locked itself in a long time ago. All this back and forth isn't logic, it's just desperation from fans trying to twist history into something it never was. But history gets written by the ones who truly ruled the court, and Jordan ruled it quicker, cleaner, harder, and with more style than anyone who ever laced up a pair of sneakers. Michael Jeffrey Jordan stamped his name with 6 rings in 13 years, end of story. No long explanations, no wild excuses, no extra chapters needed. His legacy speaks loud without effort, and that's why the debate hits a wall every single time his name comes up. And if you're riding with the real truth and want more breakdowns just like this, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and share the video. It takes a second, but it helps the channel grow in a huge way, and I appreciate every bit of support coming through.